Okay, welcome back, guys. All right, it's been a long time. It's been a huge hiatus. And I know that my youngest kid has been jumping on my Twitch stream, totally hijacking it, rating it, whatever. So there's been a lot of videos on my Twitch stream of a couple of kids playing games. I am now going to diverge, create him his own channel so he can stream to his heart's content. So welcome back. We're starting a new kind of academic year at the university. So what is the plan going forward? Well, I told you guys last year that I was going to spend the year just sort of finding my feet in terms of how I'm going to be streaming, what I'm going to be doing on a sort of a daily basis, and I also talked a little bit about constructing tighter tutorial videos. So that's this year. So this is pretty cool. I'm going to start constructing some better walkthroughs, a little bit more kind of step by step, and producing assets and things like that for you guys. As per usual, this is sort of like my kind of giving back to the community during this time of coronavirus. So I'll be lecturing for the University of Wales, Trinity St. David, and also kind of promoting my burgeoning sort of online identity, Alkang Art. It's just everything that I teach on the university level, but also that I'm fascinated with as a digital creator. So we'll talk about everything. We'll talk about concept art. We'll talk about modeling, sculpting, animation rendering, real-time rendering inside of Unreal Engine, and we'll talk about writing and filmmaking as well. So it's all kind of that particular. Oh yeah, and cinematic music, man. I love working with Pro Tools. I have since, over the summer, migrated to Cubase, which is really cool. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So there you go. It's kind of like a dog's dinner of everything that's digitally creative. So that's coming forward. I am going to start tightening up my YouTube site so you guys can access a lot of these videos there. As per usual, my Twitch stream will be the raw, uncut, me kind of stream of consciousness doing my lectures and my tutorials and things like that, which I will then harvest and edit, and then the tighter YouTube videos will be taking people through the step-by-step classes, right? So we've got an exciting year this year. There's a lot of new technology developments that I'm just eager to dive into. One of them is virtual production. So I've been working with the VFX production manager who works at Bad Wolf Studios on his Dark Materials and the Discovery of Witches. So we've talked at length about pre-visualization and virtual production, and initially their pre-visualization teams were using Cinema 4D, which is cool. I know there's a lot of Cinema 4D fans out there, but for me, C4D, I gave it a shot last year. I had to make a choice between diving into Cinema 4D or Blender, and I decided to go with Blender because of the emergence of their grease pencil tool and how powerful it is as a previs tool. So I'm going to shift my focus in terms of pre-visualization over to Cinema 4D and real-time prototyping inside of Unreal Engine. Now, on the more technical side of things, I'm also going to be exploring Houdini 18 and their new Solaris context. The Solaris context has its own real-time renderer called Karma, which is based on the Hydra framework from Pixar, which is very, very cool. And it utilizes working with a new file format that we're going to hear a lot of called USD, which is a Universal Scene Descriptor. And we'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll explore that in terms of pre-visualization. So the Blender to Unreal Engine workflow will likely be for quick previs. Previs has since grown to encompass quite a few different areas. There's a tech viz, there's a post viz, and all this kind of stuff. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But for real quick previs, we'll be using Blender and then going to Unreal Engine 4. And for, let's say, a more developed, more of a look developed previs, we'll start playing with Solaris inside of Houdini, and we'll take it from there. We will be continuing my Maya animation lectures, both the creature lecture and the character animation lecture. I'll be using existing characters and rigs for that. And we'll start that from the ground up as well. So you'll be able to see how I set up my scenes and basic principles and all that kind of stuff. Plus, I will continue the occasional concept art thread and the script writing thread. So lots to cover this year. So let's jam pack this coming 2020-2021 year with lots of knowledge, and let's produce some kick-ass art. Okay, thanks a lot, guys, and I will